And a few days after the conclusion of protests against the rising cost of living, some supporters of the president have held a rally in Rivers State. Now, the supporters were led by embattled APC Caretaker Committee Chairman Tony Okocha, and they say the president has good programs that will be of benefit to Nigerians. Uduak Patrick filed in this report.
Scores of persons around the streets of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, came out to show solidarity to President Tinubu. They marched all the way from Port Harcourt Polo Club to the Port Harcourt Club. For this group of persons, the protests staged from the 1st of August to the 10th were aimed at distracting the president. They claim President Tinubu came to build and stabilize the nation's economy and not to destroy it.
We are marching for Mr. President. We want to clean the rot that was typical of August 1st to August 10th. We imagine that in Rivers State, you all know, you are from here, Rivers State had never been an epicenter for any protest or demonstration. We believe that Rome was not built in a day. Yes, ma'am. Some and many of what Mr. President is doing as we speak are programs that are futuristic.
We understand the situation in town. We understand what we're going through. But we're here to beg. Please, we're begging. We're soliciting that we should be a little bit patient with our president.
Please also take note that you do not allow those who are bitter to destroy what we have fought for. Those who are bitter because they didn't win elections, those who are bitter because they have not gotten political appointments, I want to enjoin all of you to continue to support the government. The president and his team are taking decisions, very hard decisions, tough decisions that will help to take us out of the quagmire we are in. Ignore the antics of those sponsored protesters a few days back.
Okocha, who is also former Caretaker Committee Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in the state, takes a swipe at Governor Fubara.
That reason is the fact that the man who funded, the man who sponsored, the man who held midnight meetings with the youth is the only person that benefited from the 10 days of inactivity in Nigeria, particularly in Rivers State. On the first day that youth gathered, the governor had the presence of mind to take the rostrum to tell the youth that he will pass their message to Mr. President, assuming and absorbing himself from the rubbish in issue. And to also tell you, I'm sure you all remember, you all saw him. I'm not the one now saying it. You saw when the governor said that he will give them something for pure water and what?
Direction is more important than speed. What President Tinubu is doing is that he's taking Nigeria on the right path. Unfortunately, because we're already tired, we are not moving with the right speed. But I want to assure you that in a couple of months, Nigeria will gather momentum. We would have regained our strength, and we are now on the right path. And I can tell you that Nigeria will be that great nation that all of us dream for. I want to tell you that history will judge President Tinubu right. The decisions that he is making today are the kind of decisions that only true leaders make.
This group believes in the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. They want peace in Nigeria and the president to be given the chance and the needed support to do his job.
And many of those that took part in that solidarity march have been major actors in the still unfolding drama in Rivers State politics. Our next guest has been no less involved, as he is Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, the former chairman of Ikwere local government area. He joins me now to have a conversation about the recent Supreme Court ruling on the local government autonomy, its impact on the fragile political situation in Rivers State, and everything else in between. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsday. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for the opportunity of having me.
So what do you...
Let me plead with you to please correct the narrative. The Supreme Court of Nigeria is the highest court of the land, and whatever pronouncement they have made is the constitution and the laws of our land. By the certified true copy of the Supreme Court ruling by the justices, I, Dr. Nwanosike, is still the executive chairman of Ikwerre Local Government Council, based on the pronouncement made by the Martin Samehule-led House of Assembly. So it's good we just do that little correction. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. I would ask you exactly where it is you would be conducting your administration from, but let's get right into the topic for today. The Local Government Autonomy Supreme Court, they passed a ruling that a lot of people are championing. What's your stance on it?
It's a very wonderful day. It settles all the inconveniences and all the razzmatazz everybody have tried to bring up. And like you know, it's unfortunate that today we have leaders who want to lead us without the rule of law, leaders who don't want to obey court orders when those orders are not favoring them, leaders who want to change the goalposts at the middle of a match. Like, for instance, if Supreme Court has said that this is the law of our land, like it's stated there in the certified true copy that is with your studio there, it shows clearly that a true Democrat will obey, irrespective how it affects he or she. Today, we are seeing leaders, the governors particularly, trying to sit on appeal on a Supreme Court decision. That is not the democracy our founding fathers left for us. For instance, if a man who came forth in an election is decided by the Supreme Court that is today the governor of a particular state and say swear him in with immediate effect, and it happened, what is holding Supreme Court implementation of the decision they took that local government chairmen whose tenure ab initio is supposed to be 4 years, just like Mr. President has a tenure of 4 years, the governors have tenures of 4 years, and in that judgment, the justices said clearly that just like the National Assembly had the right, in event there is no election conducted in the country, the National Assembly has the right to extend the tenure of Mr. President by 6 months, that we too, local government chairmen who are elected in Rivers State, that the House of Assembly has the right to extend our tenure by 6 months so that they can have an opportunity to conduct election. And so we're not asking for too much. We're just saying that today, this is the law of the land, that they should please obey the laws of the land. And we want to ask the legal minds in Nigeria, Nigeria Bar Association, NJC, even the Chief Justice of the Nation that's about to hand over now. Please, we are running a democracy. Pronouncements should be made so that people should sit up and manage these democratic tenets. The bad governance protest, nothing will be as worse than bad governance when a leader decides to disobey the Constitution and to disobey the laws of Supreme Court. If we, the subjects, goes the same route, then there will be anarchy in this democratic process. So we are pleading with our governors, we are pleading with our leaders at the federal level. Can they allow the decision of Supreme Court come to stay as has been pronounced? That is the law of the land today. It's only if Supreme Court will go and reverse that or say they are going to say otherwise. But for now, this is what we have as our law. So we are pleading that RAMFAC, we are pleading the Federal Ministry of Finance to please do the needful. In Rivers State, the 21 local government chairmen are the elected chairman that has the mandate of the people, and Supreme Court has agreed with us that our tenure was rightfully extended and we should be allowed to do our activities to continue to manage people until our governor conducts the local government election and will usher in new administration like he wants. But don't forget, we're still running the states. We are since July 1st till date, there's no budget. Our governor is still going to Okojumbo-led House of Assembly that the Court of Appeal has said is null and void, does not exist, to nominate commissioners and pretend as if Nigerians are now deaf and blind. They can't see, they can't hear. We are pleading that legal minds like Femi Falana, the great Abakobas, all our legal leaders should come up and state the truth. It is not because it's River State, everybody is quiet. Today, it is here. We are watching where it will lead us to.
Okay, and going back to the local government Supreme Court ruling, I want to talk about the 3-month moratorium that is in place due to the apparent non-payment of salaries and inability to operate viably. They say that they're going to be waiting until October for the implementation of the direct payment to the local government accounts. What do you make of this development?
That is not known to our law, man. That 3 months moratorium does not exist in the laws of Nigeria. It is clear that that decision was given on the 11th of July. And the Supreme Court says with immediate effect. It is with immediate effect from the 11th of July. And I thank God that the Attorney General of the Federation has come up to say that 19 states who have not conducted local government election will not be receiving the third-tier finances again. The question is, are we going to destroy the democracy because a few set of people in this country does not feel comfortable with the decision of the Supreme Court? No, that is not democracy. Let them obey the law. We have been running our local government council by our appropriation, by our FIGPC meeting. The funds will be paid, salaries will be paid. There is no hindrance. We go to CBN and open a dedicated account and submit to federal government to pay our allocation directly to the 23 local governments in River State, and we will pay salaries at 20, and we will be held responsible in managing the affairs at the third tier. It's unfortunate that they want to turn the table and make it comfortable because they believe when they have the 3 months moratorium, they will conduct local government elections where they will write results and put their cronies in the name of local government election. But even if that will happen, obey the law first. There is no moratorium anywhere. Our leaders should realize that whatever a man sows, that is what you will reap. If today the law is against you and you decide to disobey it and you use your power to suppress it, it will go into records. And the time will come where you will be quoted that these are the decisions you took, because at the time it happened, it did not favor you. If you call yourself a true Democrat like our president is, it's unfortunate he can't help them. The right thing to do is to obey the ruling of the Supreme Court, which is the final court of the law. And then they say in democracy, judiciary is the hope of the common man. And judiciary has spoken, and it's final. They should allow us do our job. You can imagine a situation, an irony, where 3 months of our allocation while our tenure were running was seized by this governor of our state, Governor Sibila Ifumbara, a very humble and quiet governor, calm, well-spoken. And he took those 3 months of our allocation for my local government, over 2.something billion, and handed over to a man whose Supreme Court has said does not exist by the rule of 11th of July, and told the man to go ahead and stay anywhere in the country he likes to spend over 2.something billion belonging to a local government. And we are clapping in this nation. And we say we are running democracy. International communities are watching us. You want investments to come in, and you are not obeying your rule of law. How will investors have confidence in our economy? Everything is not, Mr. President. So those governors who have refused to obey the decision of the Supreme Court, going behind to shop for avenues, those governors and those should be held responsible for bad governance. And that is the truth.
Okay, so what is next for you? Let's talk more about these elections. Should River State Independent Electoral Commission, should they go ahead and conduct elections? And if so, would you be involved in running once again, or any of the other embattled former chairmen of local government areas in River State?
Yeah, first of all, election is not an event, it's a process. And when you want to say you want to conduct an election, there are processes and steps that are to be taken. Most importantly, nobody can conduct an election in this country without finance. Now the question is, on what appropriation is this election going to happen? I just told you that since 1st of July to date, Rivers State has no known appropriation, no budget. So where are they going to get the money from to do the election? And don't forget, a court of competent jurisdiction has just ruled because people went to court to say, we don't understand what the governor wants to do. The same governor who waited since last year, he knew that 17th of June will come when there will be expiration of a tenure as enshrined by the Rivers State Assembly. Kept quiet and didn't call the election because he wanted to do caretaker. Now he's in a hurry to do an election for 5th of October. And the question is, what budget? People have gone to court to say, INEC, don't give voters register. INEC, don't participate. Police, don't participate. Now, if these organs and organizations who are supposed to be part of this local government election do not participate, how can you build something on nothing and expect it to stand? So for us, we believe that the House of Assembly was right, as led by Matsa Mehule, to say, since Mr. Governor did not have an appropriation and is not captured anywhere that he intends to do an election, what we are going to do is to extend the tenure of the elected local government chairman so that they can be in office to hold on so that there will be no vacuum. And Supreme Court has agreed with the Rivers House of Assembly led by Matsa Mehule that that is the proper thing to do and that is the decision of our. In fact, they went further to say that each executive arm from presidency to governor and to local government, their tenure is 4 years. It's just in 1999 here that some governors went to the National Assembly to go and alter it so that it will favor them. But we thank God that Nigerians have seen clearly that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have means well for the people of Nigeria, took this interpretation case through the Attorney General to the Supreme Court, and a firm decision has been taken. And that decision is the law of our land. No matter who is hot, no matter who is against, the person should bear it. That is the democracy we practice. It must not go your way all the time. And so we are saying that that election, as being hurriedly put together, is not an election that will stand based on these laws. You cannot do an election without an appropriation. You cannot do an election without INEC register. You cannot do an election without security agents participating.
And what could have been done better in this situation to avoid all this tension on both sides? What is it going to take to have peace reign finally in Rivers State?
Okay, fine. The governor had an opportunity when Mr. President called to say this 8-point agenda. One of the agendas when Mr. President called was take the budget to the proper House of Assembly, not to an assembly that did not exist called Edison Ehie, which has now transformed from Edison Ehie to Okojombo, which is still a 3-man assembly. Take the budget, your appropriation, to the proper assembly led by Matsa Mehule, as stated by Justice Omoto's judgment of 24th of January 2024. That judgment has not been appealed by anybody, not the Attorney General of Rivers State, not the Governor of Rivers State, not anybody. Now, as we speak, the House of Assembly has been paraded by Okojombo, has been declared null and void by the Court of Appeal in 2 instances. Why will it be difficult for the governor to come down from the high horse and say, okay, for the interest of peace, here is the budget of Rivers State. The 27 lawmakers will want you to judiciously pass it. And don't forget, they even went further to write the governor, reminding him that, look, in case you have forgotten, by the end of June, the lifeline of the 2023 budget will be dead and gone. You will have no other opportunity to spend Rivers funds from 1st of July. The governor came on the national television and called bluff that letter, even bragged that he's preparing to send 2025 appropriation to Okojombo-led House of Assembly, 3-man assembly. So we believe that if you're talking about peace, it is the governor's call. He should take these steps. If the governor takes an appropriation to the House of Assembly today, then he would have started the process of healing. You can't say that because you're a governor, that you are the one who will decide which assembly that will stand in a democracy. And I'm happy that Dr. Ruben Abati said it here clearly, that is not for the governor to say that the assembly will exist because of him. No, the assembly is a creation of law. As the governor made his proclamation on the 9th of July that Mazamelo was elected the Speaker of the River State Assembly, that is the day he lost his powers over the control of assembly. So the point we are making is that for peace to reign in River State, the governor should please obey the rule of law, obey court orders, make sure he brings an appropriation. He is governor, but he will govern us with the Constitution of Nigeria. He can't govern us as a military dictator, or because some persons are behind him telling him that they are warlords, that they will chase everybody away from River State. Nobody wants crisis. What we want is let the right thing be done. A farmer will go to farm with his farm implements. A carpenter will go to do his job with his saw and his hammer. So also a Democrat will go to do his assignment based on the Constitution and rule of law. The governor is not an autocratic leader as far as I am seeing if he will obey the rule of law. But the governor have refused to follow any tenets of democracy as we speak. So if you talk about peace, the call is for the governor to set the stage.
Well, we'll just have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, Dr. Samuel Nwanosike.